Am I the a-hole for screaming at my pregnant sister-in-law that she's a witch and brat? My sister-in-law, 32, is 4.5 months pregnant. Since she discovered she is, she has been making various requests, which I am not happy about. To give some context, she demands that if we go to family dinners in a restaurant, we have to avoid certain places such as kebabs or sushi. But it doesn't just stop with that. It is basically anything. We can't go to cafes because she says the smell of coffee and pastries make her sick to her stomach, and that besides that, she can't drink coffee which she used to love. She is also in my friend's group which I introduced her to, and has the same attitude around clothes. We can't go shopping anymore because she will start crying that she can't wear the clothes or that the heels won't fit her. We have told her that there must be clothes with a bigger size to complement her body now, but she says that is a waste of energy and money. In 3 weeks, it will be my 30th birthday, so I want to make it special. And since I was a child, my best friend and I's favorite food has been sushi, and we used to go out to this sushi place once a week. So, I found this restaurant who will deliver me these freshly made sushi rolls, and I have told sister-in-law today about this, so I can warn her about the potential nauseating smell that she says she hates. The moment I told her, she got very mad. She told me how selfish I was for choosing the main food that she cannot eat at the moment. I tried to explain to her that I had always planned this, and that I will also gather food specifically for her. But she did not hear me. She screamed that I was doing this on purpose, just to humiliate her like all the other times. It was then when I got very mad and screamed back in front of her whole family. We were previously alone, but after hearing her screams, people started to come. That she was being a witch since she found out she's pregnant, and that she's using it as an excuse to be a brat, and that now she's prohibited from being near my house the day of my birthday. After that, I was having none of it and went away with my husband, leaving her crying. All of this was yesterday, and since then, I have not stopped getting messages from Hub's family telling me to apologize. Because while she may have been behaving very demanding, she is pregnant and I shouldn't put through emotions like that, and that I was very cruel, especially for the sushi on my birthday thing. My husband agrees with me, but I am not sure. Maybe I have not been empathetic. But I have thought about me being pregnant and I wouldn't behave like that. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Pregnancy isn't an excuse for crappy behavior. Is it understandable why she can't have sushi? Yes. Does it mean she can dictate how you celebrate your birthday, especially when you had plans to accommodate her? Absolutely not. Not the a-hole. Also, now doctors do not forbid women from eating sushi or drinking coffee. Just make sure the sushi is fresh. And eat/drink it in moderation. Don't have it every day. Not the a-hole. Sushi is prime, and is especially nice to have on your birthday. Happy early birthday, Opie. Sister-in-law sounds entitled AF. There have been dozens of posts lately about pregnant women being extensively entitled, and it's ridiculous. I had hyperemesis for all 4 of my pregnancies. My diet and what was good was limited. Even so, the extent of my rules were no one shared my French fries. Do not steal a single fry. And my husband couldn't have hot peppers on his subs. Some of the time. He checked with me. On a good seat, I could tolerate the odor. I was hospitalized for hyperemesis and I learned to manage it after that. It was work. If someone's birthday treat was a restaurant specializing in coffee and hot peppers in a place I could not have safely gone to, I would encourage them to go, wished them happy birthday, and pleasantly said I would stay home. Because who wants to ruin someone's birthday? Tell them to knock it off. She can be a reasonable adult and go and eat something cooked. Or not go, and recognize that this is temporary, and you get to celebrate your round number birthday even if she is pregnant. Not the a-hole. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter I don't like how she treats my husband? I am a mom of 3. My oldest daughter, Gracie, is from my first marriage who just turned 17, and I have Milo 10 and Lyric 7 with my current husband. My ex-husband and I separated days after Gracie's first birthday because he told me he wanted to see other women and wanted me to wait for him. I did not and filed for divorce. Though he always remained part of Gracie's life, he made it clear he only wanted me when it suited him. Then after the divorce, I met my current husband. Gracie was 4 before she was introduced to him, and her dad was angry when I found someone else. He hated my husband, and Gracie always knew it. I went through the courts when my ex would not stop bad-mouthing my husband to Gracie and did not leave her out of the adult issues we were having. The courts were not helpful at all and sent us to co-parenting classes. Gracie was hesitant with my husband, and she adored her dad and didn't want him to feel hurt. This is something she told a therapist when she was young. Then, when she was 8, her dad died, and it feels like ever since then there was no way my husband could be anything to her. We never expected him to be her dad, but to be someone she trusts and cares about. Gracie holds him at arm's length and doesn't treat him like a member of her family. She doesn't include him like she does extended family. An example was last March. She was spotlighted in her arts club, and she sent a group chat message to me, both sets of grandparents and her uncles and aunts, but did not include my husband. I mentioned it to my husband when I got home, and she made it home before me and still hadn't told him. I brought it up to her, and she said he wasn't on the need-to-know list for her. It hurts my husband, and I have tried to facilitate their relationship to be more, but I don't think it was enough. A couple of days ago, Gracie was saying she needed help with some engineering questions, and she wanted to go over to my brother-in-law's, sister's husband, brother's house to ask him some questions. I asked her why she had to go all that trouble when my husband could have answered the questions for her. She said it made more sense to her to ask her uncle's brother. This is when I told her I don't like how she does that, how she treats my husband like he's not there, like he's not part of the family. I told her we never ever ask her to replace her dad or to consider them the same, but she excludes him and keeps him out, and he has only ever been kind to her. I told her it's something I would like her to work on. She got mad and told me I chose to marry him. She didn't choose to have him in her life. She also said it wasn't my business what their relationship is like. I told her I'm her mom and I love her, and I'm his wife and I love him, and I just want them to get along. She's still angry at me and I'm trying to figure out if I did a wrong thing here. Am I the a-hole? I'll say no a-holes here. I think you and Gracie are both coming from genuine emotional places. Neither of you said anything trying to hurt the other. It's very natural for you to want her to have a good relationship with your husband. It's also pretty natural for her, given her life story as you present it, to not feel that close to him. And while it would certainly be very nice if she did put in more effort with him, I don't think it should be required of her. Often, when a parent tries to steer their child towards something, the child will go the other direction. As hard as it might be, I think the subject should be dropped and accept Gracie where she's at. Maybe in time, without the pressure, she will develop the love and respect for the role her stepfather has provided. We can't change how others behave, just how we react to their behavior. Not the a-hole for what you said to her. Sadly, your ex may have completely poisoned Gracie's mind when she was very young, to where she's turned into this hateful teen towards your husband. I don't know if there's ever going to be recovery from this. And shame on the courts as well. I'm sorry you're having to be stuck in the middle on this. I'd say your now deceased ex is the true a-hole. It kills me that he managed to turn her against the idea of a relationship with my husband so well. I can understand being jealous to a point, but he's the one who wanted to be with others and expected me to wait around for him. He was such a selfish a-hole, and I wish I'd known that when I was married to him. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my friend and his fiancée move in with me? To me, this is simple that I've done nothing wrong, but some people are saying I'm an a-hole, so I'd like the opinion of this fine sub. So I am 28 male, and my friend Tom is 29 male, and his fiancée Kat is 31 female. Recently, Tom and Kat have come into financial issues and are unable to pay for their rent. As it stands, they can either move in with Kat's parents who live roughly 2 hours away, or they can move in with me until they find another place to rent. Now, they would rather move in with me. I live alone in a 3-bedroom house, so I have the space. It would be easier for them as they can stay near our other friends and close to Tom's work. There's also a lot of parks nearby, so Kat can take her dogs for walks. That's all well and good for them. However, the idea of living with someone, let alone 2 people, does not sit well with me. I have 1 bedroom where I sleep. The other 2 bedrooms are my home office and my library. Furthermore, I love the feeling of coming home to an empty house. Everything is as I left it, and I can properly unwind. Also, living alone makes it easier to bring girls over. So, I told Tom and Kat this, and they were not happy. They called me selfish for not sacrificing for them, said a true friend would help. So I told them the blunt truth, that I would be happy to help Tom. He works full-time and would respect my space. But I did not want Kat to live with me. Reasons being, she doesn't work, so she would be in my home much more than me. Her dogs are inside dogs, and I don't want that at all. And I told them that Thomas told me privately he gets frustrated that he comes home from work and still has to prepare dinner and do most of the chores. I told Kat she's lucky she's with someone who tolerates her and loves her, but I'm not like Tom. I'm not dealing with it. Kat breaks down crying at this point and calls me evil. I apologize to Tom, but tell him he knows my stance. This happened late last year. Right now, Tom and Kat are living with Kat's parents still, and I know it's hard for them. My mates know how Kat is and told me I did the right thing. However, people who are close to Kat are saying I'm a terrible person, and I put them in a situation which might ruin their relationship. So am I the a-hole for not letting my friend and his fiancée move in? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. They are. You don't owe anyone a place to live. And honestly, I would never ever let them stay even temporary. Kat seems like the person who would make you evict her to get her out once she gets her claws in. Opie, I would never under any circumstances let them live with you. And no one is entitled to the peaceful home you have created and paid for. I didn't even think of that. Fair point. Kat would go full-on squatter's rights. Plus, move in her druggy mates in the meantime with her dogs. I mean, I saw some horrifying things that happened to people in legal Reddit. More than likely, Kat, who is jobless, would begin getting mail at a property. Once that happens, Opie would be considered her landlord, and in order to get her out, he would be in a lengthy, costly court battle. What other prospects does an adult like Kat, with no job and doesn't do chores or cook, have? Reading your comment literally made me shiver. I don't think it would have ever gotten to that point, but anything is possible, and I'm glad I'm not risking going down that path. Not the a-hole. Tom and Kat aren't looking for a place to stay for a couple of weeks in an emergency. They're looking for a long-term place to live. They got kicked out of their old place because they couldn't pay the rent. They're not magically going to be able to afford to rent a new place. Part of me thinks that's true as well, especially if they get comfortable. They're not comfy at mom's place, yet they remain. Every day they stay lets you know how long they would have been at yours. Plus, extra time once they get comfy. Easily a year. You're fine and they have a roof. Last story. Am I the a-hole for bringing the receipts when my ex had me shunned from our mutual friend group? So my 26 female ex-boyfriend, 27 male broke up with me a week ago. It felt sudden to me, and there was no warning it was going to happen. However, we handled it very amicably in my opinion, and he wanted to try and stay friends. I met him online through a mutual friend, and had been friends with him and the rest of the group for a few months before dating. When I went into hospital back in August, I sort of just fell away from that group of people where I couldn't be online. However, one of our mutual friends had caused a lot of drama and we both cut her out of our lives because it was very toxic. Now, in December, she reached out to me, apologized, and we started to talk slowly again. My ex-boyfriend during this whole time would message me and tell me over Discord that he hated her guts. She was an insert bad word here, and that I could talk to her but he was completely done with her. I'd always ask him about hanging out with other friends, or playing games with other people and encourage him to do so while I was sick and or offline. His responses were always, I don't really talk to anyone anymore, or I only want to talk/play with you. And when I dig deeper, he said they all just fell out of touch. Fast forward to the breakup. The first thing he does after our apparently amicable and no hard feelings talk was to go straight to that mutual friend he said he hated with a passion and tell her everything I ever did or said wrong in our relationship. He told her a private conversation we had where I jokingly brought up how often she cycled through flings and told her and every other mutual friend we had that I was the reason he stopped talking to everyone. That he was worried I'd get jealous or upset if he talked to/played with anyone else but me. Because, and I'm quoting him verbatim here, I know how I would feel in that situation and I didn't want to put you through that. I'm sorry, what? So this friend came for me hard over DMs and asked why I would say and do such things. I was shocked and extremely hurt. I never would ask/make someone give up his friends or isolate them from anyone, as this seems controlling and I didn't want that. But my petty self said, screw this. I went through our past conversations, took screenshots, and privately messaged everyone who told this BS to, apologizing that I was the reason they lost their friend. Then followed up with the pictures to prove he did this on his own and against my wishes. These photos may or may not have also shown the crap talk he said about that one mutual friend. He's been blowing up my phone since, asking how could I do that and call him out like that. All he wanted was a clean break and to get his friends back. and that I'm an a-hole for making them question him. I haven't responded because, in my opinion, he lied about me and our relationship to friends we both had, who then took his side no questions asked and kicked me out of their lives and Discord servers based off word of mouth. So guys, am I the a-hole for sending proof to our friends? So, not the a-hole. I can't even imagine how twisted he got himself to try and throw you under the bus like that. I assume it was his way of getting closure, but it was very cruel and so out of left field, especially since he was the one who broke things off. I'm sorry you have to deal with such short-sighted self-satisfaction, and hope you have a bright future ahead. Thank you very much. The experiences I've had this past week are making me realize the breakup is a blessing in disguise. Sounds like a situation I was in with online friends. The guy tossed me under the bus to make himself look good and me look bad. I let it go at a time, but over the months and weeks after, they'd ask me questions, and I'd just share a screen with them so they could see unedited Discord conversations. Your guy fooled around and found out. He got exactly what he deserved. Zero sympathy for him. You absolutely dodged a bullet, just like I did. Remember this going forward too. It's a life lesson, not a hole. I am so sorry you went through that. It's never good when someone tries to ruin a reputation. I am technologically illiterate 99% of the time and wouldn't know how to edit anything on a laptop or PC if my life depended on it. All my screenshots were from my phone, and they knew immediately nothing was cropped or edited.